Hello, thank you for tuning in. I'm messing everything up. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. I didn't even open it. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. This is No More Water, Fire Next Time. I Man, this weather is really something, isn't it? All that snow. I haven't seen. We got what about 2 feet of snow? Haven't seen this much snow. I can remember the last time I saw this much snow in this area. But thank you for tuning in. To No More Water, Fire Next Time. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and I have a title today about it. Is it great again yet? This is mostly speaking to the people who voted for Trump and those who sat out the election and refused to vote for Kamala Harris. There were many people who just refused to vote for her. I heard one white guy saying, if I known it was going to be like this, I would have just sat it out. And people were commending him for it, but I didn't commend him because one thing he didn't say is that he would vote for the black woman. See, that never came across his mind. They really set it out. Sitting it out is just another vote for Trump. That's what it was. I mean, you have to. An election is not you straddling the fence. I don't have no opinion because whoever get in, their policy is going to affect you. So not having an opinion is not going to help. So yeah, the reason I say it's great again yet, we got people in the streets protesting all over the nation. People being unalived by the government all over the nation. And let me say one thing. I'm going to always mention Keith Porter Jr. He's a black man, 43 years old. He was unalived by an off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve. They're mentioning everyone's name except for his. I showed you the video the other night where they showed all the people who were unalived by ICE. He wasn't on it. And if you can't respect mine, I can't respect yours. Because we've been through this a lot. Just go down the line. Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, young boy 12 years old in the park playing with his little toy gun. And the police just pulled up in 2 seconds, just open his car, jump out the car, and shoot. There was a white woman who called the police saying he was out there with the gun. See, these white women, we talk about the white men, but these white men, women has been complicit with those white men. They've been just as racist as they are. All this stuff about, it's just the men. No, the white women has always been just as complicit as the men. If you think you're going to get a reprieve with them, you got another thing coming. Because they're going to be just as bad. That sees white women on the job clowning black women hair. White men want the black men cut their dreadlocks off. So the white women, the black woman leave her phone lying on the desk and it was on record, they didn't know it. When she leave out, they tell me, see they don't wash their hair. But see the thing is, black hair don't have to get washed every day. It don't. We don't get lice all up in our hair if we don't go a few days without washing it. We don't get that. So don't compare us with you. And stop worrying about our hair. Worry about yours. But some people, folks say they don't like. Folks sure do love to keep their attention on us all the time. I had a video, did I download that one? With Cat Williams talking about that. Because for you all to say you don't like us, you shouldn't step in our business all the time, all over social media. But it's only on the post where we're misbehaving. On the post where we're doing great, marvelous things. You don't even come on there. And most of you who speak against black people, you don't even be around black people. You're gathering what you want to think off of social media, and a lot of that is not even real. Oh, I know that, and don't be people text me tomorrow. Your like my post supposed to be a certain thing, and I end up talking about race because it all has to do with race. We wouldn't be in this predicament we're in with this orange goo turd had it not been for you voting for him because of race. You say, well, did you vote for Barack Obama because of race? Yeah, that was part of it, but he was the best candidate. Did you vote for? I also see one thing about, and I also voted for Kamala Harris. Yeah, because she was black, and I don't care what y'all say. She was black. Cause the people who run this, to them, she's black. All that other stuff don't matter. I voted for her because she's a black woman, and I know she was the best candidate. But see, do you ask white people, did they not vote for Obama and Harris because they were black? You've been voting for white people all this time. You didn't question people. Black people have been voting over 90% for white Democratic candidates. You didn't question them about that. Black people voted overwhelmingly for Hillary Clinton. Did you ask us if we voted for her because she's a woman? She was the best candidate. Black people vote for the best candidate. We're more conscientious with our vote. To give you an example, the black women people, there was a black woman running against a white female for the governor of Virginia. She was a MAGA black woman. Black people overwhelmingly voted for the white woman. Obama campaigned for the white woman. Many people complained he was just talking about vote for the black woman back in November. Here he is endorsing the white woman. He was endorsing the black woman who was the best candidate. And why would a man who's the Democratic president of the United States go and endorse a MAGA black woman? We're more conscientious than that. Harold Washington, when he first ran for mayor of Chicago, the first black mayor of Chicago, he didn't win. Black people didn't vote for him. They voted for this woman named Jane Byrne because they felt that she was the better candidate. Black people are some of the most conscientious voters in this nation. We don't vote against our interests. The overwhelming majority of us vote for our interests. You can always have some scragglers. That's been anything. We're not perfect. Because people expect us to do everything perfect or we fail when no one else is expected to. But we vote overwhelmingly for the better candidates, and we have to know. Because to prove it, you notice the cities with black mayors, the crime rate go down, and it's more prosperous. It always happens that way. Any black mayor, male or female, if what's her name, one Stacey Abrams, if she had won in Georgia, Georgia would be a lot better off. And they know it. They don't want it to be shown. And I'm gonna get to that later when we get on the immigrants. But look, see, it's not great again. As a matter of fact, Trump wasn't. Trump is not here um, to make America great again. He think he is. He's here to give America judgment. Everything he has done. What has been done to black people is now being done to white people. They've been pulling us out of cars, shooting us. And you know what? Changed a little bit with cameras. If it wasn't for cameras, even now they would get away with it. You know why? Until to the Voting Rights Act of 1964, white people, we were still under Jim Crow. That what King was fighting for, not integration. That was other people bringing in integration. See, what happened is, under Jim Crow until 1964, white people really didn't have to face punishment for unaliving a black person. Sometimes they made special case, but it wasn't required. That's why they got away with unaliving Emmett Till, even though the sheriff and his unalivers, the people who unalived him, was laughing about with the sheriff on the courthouse steps. Everyone knew who did it. They knew they did it. Trayvon Martin. There was no video. George Zimmerman got away with it on a fight he started with the kid. And because he was losing the fight, he said he was standing his ground on a fight that he started. Now this young black boy, I'm gonna get back to my subject. I want to say what I'm thinking about. Carmelo Anthony. Some white boys tried to jump him at the track meet, say he was under the wrong tent. It was raining. And so when it's raining, you run to the first tent you can get to. They tried to jump him and he stabbed one of them and unalived him. He was standing his ground just like George Zimmerman was. So if not the video, most people who unalive black people, police or anyone, would get away with Lamont Arbery, the jogger, who was 3 men chased down and unalived him. He was unarmed. He was just jogging because he stopped and looked at a vacant house that was being built. I've done that before on my block. When I lived in Los Angeles, there was people they built a bigger house. People go look inside, see how it's being built. I did it, neighbors did it, everyone did it. But he did it and they chased him down and unalived him. And the prosecutor said no charges. There was no crime committed. They were so happy one of the buddies brought the video of what they did. He had videoed it and showed it. They say, see, we did nothing wrong. And that's what hung them. The video. You can even hear the guy who used to be an ex-policeman say, F that N word. Now they're doing life in prison. All three of them. But without the video, they'd be at home laughing about it now. Sometimes even with the video it doesn't work. Michael Brown. That would have been solved had there been a video. I don't want to go off into it because I can prove it, but I don't want to go off into it because I want to get back to my subject. But there's many cases. The reason I brought that up is to show that what these people are going through in Minnesota, these white people being unalive, black people been there, done that. You say, oh, should have cooperated. You know what it looks like a person not cooperating? You can't beat a person into being still. Those policemen will get to kneel on them people in certain ways and make them move. If you notice when the people are moving, it's defensive move, like trying to shield themselves from the blows. And that comes naturally. That's just like a person trying to hit. I seen people hit kids say, stop crying. Then the kid keeps crying, they keep hitting them. The kid is crying because you're hitting them. That's why they're crying, and they're not going to stop crying until you stop hitting them. Excuse me. But see, how many times you seen black people being pulled out of cars, all on the ground in handcuffs, got to sit on the curb in handcuffs over a routine traffic stop? They've been doing this to us. And just think what happened back when they didn't have video cameras, back in the 1920s and 30s. And, well, we know what happened in summer because they took pictures of them standing by a man, black men hanging from the tree, black men and women hanging from the tree, who they have lynched or even sometimes even burnt at the stake. Out there eating and getting souvenirs like it's a family outing, had their children out there. You talking about we don't want children to know about history because it may hurt our children. You didn't worry about it hurting them when you had them out there. You was unalive these black folks having them watch it. They would have when they was unalive them black folks hanging them, lynching them, and burning them at the stake. They had their children out there. And these weren't black people who committed crimes. People think that. You know what I began to notice? And I'm bringing all this to show about this discrimination and what we've been through. The men, when they lynched them, meaning or burnt them, they took their clothes out. The women, they left their clothes on. And one thing I noticed about the women, those black women, they were well dressed, very well dressed. You know what I found out later? They weren't hung because of crimes that they committed. The only crime they committed that those were business people, and they economically challenged white people. They didn't start with Rosewood. They burnt down towns out west, cowboy towns that black people had started. They burnt down over, they say 60, but it was well over 100 black towns. Black people never wanted to be integrated with you, but you left black people no choice. We always tried to have our own. They every time it became prosperous, you ruined it. Then you want to laugh at people who have to get on welfare. I don't see nothing wrong with people getting on welfare. As much money as you owe us in reparations, that's not even a down payment. That don't even scratch the surface. You cheat a person out of everything, then wonder why they need some help. They need to get that in more. You talk about the Somalis committing fraud up in Minnesota. Well, the Jews out there in New York, they'll get their wife to lease an apartment and get the Section 8 money. And he living there too. And it's his place. But they just put in a different name. A lot of people are committing fraud. Then and what if they did? You went over to Africa and took the African stuff. Somalia is a part of Africa. You stole their stuff, built the Europe and the United States off of their wealth. So let's not start talking about fraud. What about Brett Favre down in Mississippi, one the poorest state in the United States, committed an $800 million welfare fraud trying to build some stadium, but they swept that under the rug. Brett Favre, who used to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. What happened to that fraud case? Donald Trump committing fraud right now. Has made billions of dollars since he became president. That old fraudulent cryptocurrency, he's the only one making money. Everyone else is losing money. And I hope they lose everything they got getting into that mess. Snoop Dogg, that's why he tried to get into it. Tried to get into that cryptocurrency and Nelly. That's why Snoop Dogg was at the crypto concert. That's why in 2016, Snoop Dogg was calling everybody a jigaboo who performed for Trump. Then in 2024, he's performing for him. That was in 2020 when he said that. And he's not in 2024, he's performing. You know, that's one thing I know about the hip hop artists. You see how quickly they sell out, and the rappers. See how quickly they sell out. See, back the R&B singers and all, they were part of the civil rights movement. Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonders, Harry Belafonte, they stood with the people. These hip hop and rappers, they'll sell us out in a minute. They think they can make some money. Look at Nicki Minaj. Talking all that crap about immigrants, now found out she's an immigrant too. I think she did it to keep from being deported. There's a big petition out there to get her up out of here. You see her pedophile husband and some other member of her family also pedophiles. They can't go. They can't leave. Oh, well, I can see why she identified with a pedophile. With Trump. She married one. But look, I'm gonna play this video about the people who are great against them yet.
Breaking news, martial law is coming in hot. This morning, President Trump told a room packed with generals that America is facing a war from within. He wasn't talking about a foreign enemy. He was talking about our own cities. Trump named places like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, and LA as training grounds for U.S. troops. And here's the kicker. Troops are already on the ground in at least 5 major cities: Memphis, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Portland, and Los Angeles. The president said we're under invasion from within. No different than fighting a foreign war, except this enemy doesn't wear uniform. His defense secretary backed him up, calling for looser rules of engagement and untying the hands of soldiers here at home. Critics say this crosses into dangerous territory that blurs the line between military and law enforcement and risks putting American troops directly against American citizens. One thing is certain: the United States military is no longer just preparing for war overseas. It's being positioned for war on U.S. soil. I've been trying to prepare you for this since 2023. I told you it was coming. I will get some new videos together as soon as possible. Stay sharp, stay aware, because what comes.
Okay, now why is that breaking news? Let me get my headphone on. See why that's breaking news? Kamala Harris told you all of that during the campaign. He told you Trump is going to declare martial law. He's going to have soldiers in American cities. He's going to apply tariffs. She told you all of that. So why is it breaking news? Because you broke it instead saying it instead of her? She told you that. But you listened to Charlie Kirk, who said black women can't form a coherent thought. They need a white man to do it for them. You listened to that mess. And then you an FAFO, didn't you? Everything that's going on right now, Kamala Harris told you it was going to happen. And now you're acting like it's something new. She told you he's going to have troops in American cities. She told you that. She said he was going to ruin the economy with tariffs and the farmers going to lose their farms. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden saved you one time. They had a bill together to save you again. But you voted for the person who said they're going to apply the tariffs. That's why I don't feel sorry for these farmers. I wouldn't care if you lose your farm. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I don't care if you lose your farm, your house, your land, your wife, your dog, your cat. I don't care, because you voted to keep the black farmers from getting money that you had already gotten. You low down dirty dogs. Yeah, if Trump can call the Somalis all those kind of names, I can call you those names. And I got good reason. See, and I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of people been talking about why black people are not out there protesting. Because we don't want to. We haven't done that in a while. We left that tactic alone after Michael Brown, really, in Ferguson. A lot of people hadn't noticed, though. Black people actually stopped protesting after Ferguson because they saw that it wasn't working. The black people was out there. See, everyone always talk about how St. Louis never would protest. But in Ferguson, see, during the civil rights movement, nothing happened in St. Louis. But in Ferguson, those black people was out there every night for 4 months, from August to November. They came out there with National Guards. They had those AR-15s, armored personnel carriers. Them black folks stirred it down, thought it wasn't nothing to them. And it wasn't no looting. Black people never have uh, riotous protests have a never riot during protests. See, that would be the protesters going out looting stores and rioting. There'd be other people. Because in Ferguson, the police wouldn't stop them. The protesters left and they stopped the looting. In Ferguson, I know because I was documenting it. I don't protest. I told you I don't protest because I don't believe in peaceful protests. But I'm a journalist. I document it. And see what happens is they saw that those old 1960 civil rights tactics wasn't working anymore. During Black Lives Matter, I told you this before, but it's busy with what I'm saying. I was at this, I think it was the Stockley unalignment, and it was in downtown St. Louis. They said it was 600 people there, but I was shooting the stage, which was all black, the speakers. I turned my camera around to get the audience. I couldn't find a black person. So don't think black people just now started delineating. It's been a process. Now we just stopped it all together. Oh, you're gonna find a few out there, like this black woman in Minnesota I saw last night on there. And you notice when a black person out there in those marches, they got them up front on the bullhorn, on the microphone, on the stage. Then I saw today I was tear gas and they shot me with tear gas. You shouldn't have had your black self out there. That's not your fight. Immigrants is not our fight. Those see, people got this idea like black people and people of color has been buddies. We haven't. Sometimes they show us more hatred on the personal level than white people do. We know white people get nice and friendly in your face, but these people, I lived around all type of races in Los Angeles. Those people hate black people, and when you know what, and when it came to them against us, they were treated like honorary white, like and the Asian woman unalived a 16-year-old, 15-year-old black girl thought she was stealing some in her store. That little product is worth more than that girl's life, and found out she wasn't. She got probation. Don't that girl have a family? That woman shouldn't still be walking around. Let the law run its course. If they don't bring justice, your family got to bring it. And I wonder, did those black folks put her out of business and let her stay in business in that neighborhood? If you did, shame on you. And her family, shame on you. You shouldn't still be on top of the ground. Take care of your family business. But look, um, but then you can't see I'm calling for them to do something because this was over 30 years ago. But that's what they should have done back then. But look, they George Zimmerman won alive Trayvon Martin. He was Hispanic, a Latino. I thought Latino and Hispanic was the same, but they said I think his father was Hispanic and his mother was Latino. I don't see the difference. But whatever it is, I would just say mostly say Mexican. Let's get out the way. But look, um, they treated him like he was an honorary white when he was against us. I'm gonna show you what else they're doing with these white people. When you are not serving the white cause, you lose your white privilege. Your whiteness is not whitening anymore. When you come inside with us to do something, they'll pew pew you too. And they're showing you. They're not playing with you. You're either with us, and if you're with them, we'll treat you just like them. There were some white people pew pewed in the civil rights movement because their whiteness wasn't whitening anymore when they sided with us. Even during slavery, they pew pewed a lot of white folks who helped in the Underground Railroad. They're ruthless. If you don't serve their purpose, they got something for you. And these people found out in Minnesota. And after the man pew-pewed the woman, called her F and B, walked away like he was hip hopping on his way to lunch or something. Doctors tried to help. They wouldn't listen. Because the doctor who lived right there. That was a suburban neighborhood, an upscale neighborhood. You know, doctors live there. And see, when you are not serving the white cause, you just another N word to them. And they treat you even worse. They won't even let their unaliving be investigated. Isn't that a mess? See, and they're blaming them for their own demise. Don't that sound like what they did to black people? Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown and George Floyd? They blame them for their own unaliving. Jerry Chauvin, he's not a pure white man. And there was an Asian guy kneeling on Mark on a on a George Floyd legs, helping to hold him down. Many other police officers who pew-pewed a lot of black people have Hispanic surnames. They're really giving black people a hard time out there in Los Angeles. Many of the black people have left Los Angeles. They can't hardly get a job because if you don't speak Spanish, you're not Hispanic, you can't get a job. I know about how those Mexicans out there will go to white people and say, oh, those black people are lazy. And just to try to get their friends in there. I remember all that. You haven't been our friends. You're Africans. You Jamaicans. Same with you. So I knew black Mexicans in LA. They didn't even want to speak to you, talk to you. So they go by their ethnicity and nationality, not by their race. You see, we tried to warn the Somali. Well, we're not black. They don't even say they're African. They say they're Arab. They're Arab. We're Somalis. We're Arab. Now everybody's black all of a sudden. See, what they didn't know, we were saving them. You see, you can come over here. You can come with that tribalism mess. You can say you're this, you're that. But when you get to the United States of America, you black. But that's the way the people who run it see you, and that's what counts. If the police stop you for no reason, he's not stopping you because you're Jamaican. He's not stopping you because you're Nigerian or Somalian or Ethiopian. They're stopping you because you're black. And see, now your ethnicity or your tribal or ethnic group is only helping to identify you to get you up out of here. Now they're talking about we're all black. Let's call the truth. It's nothing for us to call because we hadn't done nothing to you. See, you call a truce when it's two people fighting. It was just one person fighting. Now you ask for forgiveness. Ain't no truce to be called because we haven't done anything to you. And it's too late. See, if you don't say I'm sorry to someone, you say it because you're actually sorry. They're saying it because they're in trouble. If this trouble hadn't came on them, they'd be doing the same thing. They're all in their churches, the temple, their minds, their temples. You know, the same Negroes church. The Iman up there preaching. African Americans don't know who their fathers are. They're all born out of one night stands. And you wonder why we're not out there? Well, we're going to try to find out who our father is. That's why we're not out there helping you. We're going to try to find out who our fathers are. 80% of your children coming up autistic, but they're being diagnosed by doctors from your homeland so you can get that money. You open up a store. You got 3 wives you brought them from Somalia, but you can only claim one. You have them They get food stamps. You also have a restaurant. They use their EBT card to get food for the restaurant out of your store. You know, you're not the only one who commit fraud. I know there a lot of people have done it. But just the thing about it is black people, we don't operate like that. You know why we're not concerned? He didn't show us how to do it. No, not really, but we don't want to do that because look, the truth is immigrants can come here and get stuff that we can't get. Excuse me. We can't get those loans they get. Remember the Asian woman I showed you the video of her saying that they tell it all now that they're on the chopping block. When they can come to get a business loan, they tell them that you can't open it in a white area because they don't want you making money off of them. You have to open it in a black area. And they get the loan. But she said at the same time, a black person can't get a loan to open a business in their own area. You know what that's for? That's to keep people from people. If people in your area own a business there, that money's gonna turn over. That's how wealth is accumulated by the money changing hands before it leave out your area. That's what happened when black people had our own. See, you notice they don't have to do no roads with the Black Wall Street and all those burnings anymore. They got those immigrants in here keeping the money from turning over. Just go from our hands to them and out of our community. They go build their community, and everyone else go eventually back to the white people. Everybody benefit from that money, but us. We don't benefit from it. That's why that's the new tactic. That's the new. They're putting a Rosewood and Black Wall Street on us every day now. It said that in the evening when the business is closed, the black community go bankrupt every evening. It does because all the money leaves. You saw these big ticketed items. I know I'm off subject, but I'm gonna get back to it. You see all the big ticketed items the city leaders want to bring in. That's still not ours. The city's gonna get tax money from. They're more interested in city tax revenue, but that's not ours. That money not gonna turn over here. It's gonna leave too. We need mom and pops. We need black people with convenience stores, with black people with private business who live here and gonna spend their money here with each other. So right now, you got a few black people with businesses here, but they don't live here. So that money doing the same thing that the Asians and the Arabs are doing, leaving right out of here. They're taking their money to Beverly Heights. We have black people here with the best job, teachers and work for the school district, the city. Most of them don't live here. Their money is not turning over hands here. It's going right out with them to where they live. We have a doomed, failed policy. So it can't get great for us if we keep this up. That's why most black people are not founded on segregation when Trump talked that. A lot of them saying bring it on. But look, back to Minnesota and what's going on in this nation. See, the man that was shot last night, and I don't have to get on here talking about how I feel about it. Because nobody said how they feel about Keith Porter. If you think somebody happy about it, something wrong with you. But the thing is, like a lot of people, oh, I'm sorry because of this. Well, you got enough people that say that. No one said they're sorry for Keith Porter, the black man in Los Angeles. When they start saying how they feel about him, I start saying how I feel about the others. But look, the man, do you know? I'm gonna show you how they're doing now. When whiteness stop whitening, when you're not serving their purpose. This man, they were pistol whipping him. Any policeman would tell you, or anyone would tell you, a policeman will get fired and thrown in jail for pistol whipping somebody. He's not supposed to hit anyone with his pistol. I know they're not policemen. I'm just saying to make a point. They took the gun off the man. One of them was holding the gun in his hand, and before they shot him, then they shot him when he didn't even have possession of a gun that he was legally carrying. Where is the NRA about the legal carry and all of that? Now I heard they came out and said something, but I can't say anything about it to actually see it myself. But see and the woman, why stand and argue? See, a black person wouldn't have done that. Don't stand and argue with those people and fuss at them and all that. They don't protest the way black people do. They go there throwing stuff all at the agents and the police, throwing stuff at them, urging them on. Black people, when we protested, it was to make our petitions known, not to try to get into a fight. And then when they do get in a fight, they don't fight back. So what you gonna provoke a fight for? Out there, you see when they come against ICE, when they do get in a fight with them, they don't fight back. Why should I start a fight and I'm not gonna fight back? They gonna pew pew two of yours. What y'all gonna do? But we're not coming out there. They do that to yours. What you think they would do to ours? And see, the thing about it, it's never been great for us. But I tell you why. These ICE agents are untrained. They're not law enforcement. They're immigration enforcement. Like you said, they're untrained. But the people who unalived, black people, were trained policemen, not untrained immigration agents. They were trained city and state policemen. So don't you see the difference? And if those untrained people are doing that to you, what do you think they would do to us? They would say, black people, stay out of that mess. I can't tell you, I'm suggesting. I can't tell you what to do. That has to be your conviction. But I'm suggesting. Just look at all what's going on. You wouldn't stand a chance out there. They're saying, no, you're next, like they want us to be next. We're not the next. We always have been and still is. Do you realize we no longer have the Voting Rights Act? We're back under Jim Crow. It's not just officially. That's why Trump talking about the segregation. We don't have the civil rights laws anymore. We're actually back under Jim Crow. Just that the time has evolved so, and white people are not responding to it like he want them to. He didn't realize we're not in that type of time period anymore. I'm going to play this video. Got another video I want you to see. This is Michael Cohen. I want you to hear what he has to say.
Just yesterday, the Pentagon has ordered 1,500 troops to literally stand by for deployment. Let me say that again. 1,500 troops to stand by for deployment, not overseas, not United States military against Americans exercising their First Amendment constitutional right. That is the very definition of posse comitatus. And after a swift and a kick-ass backlash from lawmakers, Trump actually appeared to back down. But he may back down, but the Pentagon, they still readied 2 battalions. Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 1 million subscribers. Yes, We've had some setbacks. You all know about it. But yesterday was a really good day for us. Momentum back on our side. So,
Yeah, I don't want to go into all that. But look, that what you're talking about, like I said, Kamala Harris told you about that. She told you. She told you about what this idiot was going to do. Now you're talking about green, and look at this. I put that up. You see that? That's the United States and Europe going against each other. And that's befitting, because those are the two who destroyed most of the rest of the unwhite, most of the world. Where other people live, besides white people. And see, I'm going to tell you, I'm not sad about what's happening because I just hate for the black people in the United States to get caught up in this because you should have gave us our reparations. You had to go through all of this since you have given black people our reparations. This would be an entirely different nation. And you just gave black people their reparations and stopped all your racist behavior. Now this nation is in decline, and it's not going to ever be what it used to be. I'm going to make it great again? No. And see, and they always telling black people, love it or leave it. I don't have to love nothing. I don't have to leave it. You the one, why don't you leave it? You the one who don't love it. Keep somebody, it's not great. Always complaining about, oh, the liberals, this and that, complaining about everything. You conservatives can complain about more than anything I ever seen. And you MAGA folks, all you do is complain. You don't love it, leave it. Oh, I forgot. You don't have nowhere to go. See, them white folks don't want you in Europe. The European whites can't stand the American whites. That's why they kick you out of there. See, the white people here, they got kicked out of Europe. They were the criminals and the thugs and the gangsters. They got kicked out of there. They can't go back. They don't want them over there. You see that? You see how they're not kicking out European immigrants. They want more to immigrate here from Norway and all. They know it's open to them, but do you see them coming? More white people leaving than coming. They brought some in from South Africa talking about genocide there. How are you being mistreated when you 1/8 of the population and you own 70% of the wealth of the land and over 90% of the wealth, but you being mistreated? I don't know why those black people have. When a person did you wrong, they call it invaders. You kick invaders out. When Nelson Mandela became president, I'd have kept my nuclear weapons and kicked them out, send them to the airport butt naked with nothing. Train station, well, however they was gonna get up out of there. Don't care you go, but you got to get up out of here. The Africans, after colonialism, kick those people out. They'll still control you economically, just not politically. But that too. So they unalive any of your leaders who didn't go their way and put your puppet in them in the United States. You got to kick those people out. Like Ibrahim Traore did in Burkina Faso. He kicked the French out. They no longer need it. Don't have to go back to France, but you got to get up out of here. They nationalize and control their own gold and all their resources, and the nation is becoming much richer because of that. And many they call it the Sahel nation now. They're all coming together and they're building up their militaries. That's one thing you have to do. You just can't say I'm going to do this and do that, but don't have the muscle to back it up. You have to build up your military also. But look, getting back to the United States. You see, they gave us reparations. This would be an entirely different nation. But they didn't want to do that. Anything they thought would benefit us, they didn't want to do it. That's why I say, is it great again yet? All this mess you pull, and all great empires come to an end. It always has been that way. And yeah, what do they usually tell you? Great empires don't fall from invading armies from without, but from crumbling decay within. They do it to themselves. And that's what's happening now. And Europe, I don't, I don't, I don't, I don't care what happened to them. They're the one who destabilized the world, trampled all over black people in Africa, colonized people. They're the problem. The United States and France is the reason Haiti is in the shape it's in. The poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. That's because they boycotted Haiti. See, no one could defeat Haiti. Haiti kicked Napoleon's butt. So the French tried to come in there and they kicked France's butt. And then, so the United States and France kept Haiti out of the world market and had them paying reparations for what France wasn't able to steal. They're like I break in your house. You stopped me, but now you got to pay me for what I didn't steal. Most of these Africa and most situations black people all over this world is in has been the Caucasian fault. They've done things to hold them back. In the United States, black people couldn't get the loans, less pay for the same work. Black people get all these degrees and a lot of times have to work beneath their job skill, have to train their boss. You go to the average job and guarantee you there's black people there who work under a white person who they know more about their job and how to run their places than they do, than the white person does. I remember my older relatives used to say how when they, if you notice at most places where they're doing hard work, black people doing the hard work, the white people are supervising. That's all they ever did. They never done any hard work. But then they bring a white person to train, they have them to train that white person. And they said black people say, well, let's train our new boss. They were right. As soon as they felt like that they were trained to do the job, they were the new supervisor, the new boss. Then you talk about DEI, that's what you call DEI. Why come you couldn't get some of those black people who trained that person to be the supervisor? Because you don't want those black people in a position of power over a white person. Man, they've been really dirty towards us. And see, back then they had to take it. See, I know some of these young people be saying now, I want to take that stuff about what our ancestors took, but you wasn't back then. It's easy to look back on it. You wasn't in that era. It's easy to look back on a certain era and say about what I wouldn't have done. A lot of black people say they couldn't have held me as a slave. Yeah, you say that because you're not there back then. You think all those people back there just let them do it? No, they didn't let them. So let's not try to crap on our ancestors who came before us. So our thinking is altogether different from theirs. We know a lot of things, but we know history now. But what happened to them, we know a lot of things now that they didn't know then. And back then, a lot of times they was powerless to do anything about it, even if they knew. That's why I never talk against the ancestors or my elders who came before me. And some things we probably take now. Years later, our ancestors we saying they wouldn't have taken it. It's easy to say when you don't have to go through it. But see, the thing about us, like what's going on now, I told you the other night when I first read Project 2025, I read it. It was in 2024, maybe a little early. And the people I was with, the conclusion, we came to the conclusion that this is going to hurt them more than us. We're used to this. What they're doing is bringing them down to the level that we're at. They're not really hurting black people. They're stripping away white privilege. But they don't know it. And see, the Hispanics, and Latinos, and Africans, and all you immigrants, is it better yet? Asking for a friend. Is it better yet? You see, many of them voted for Trump. Thought that a lot of people didn't know we're not immigrants. They thought that we were the thugs. They talk about us so bad until those immigrants thought that we were the thugs and gangsters and criminals that they were talking about. Didn't know he was talking about them. Oh, he could have out of here if he could, he just can't. And then they need somebody to look down on, or they'll turn on each other, like they used to do in Europe. But you ask the African, where did they come from in Africa? They tell you. Then they ask you where you came from. They didn't even know about the slave trade. That we were brought here, our ancestors was brought here as slaves. They would ask you where you from in Africa. They know now. They're crying now. But who want to help somebody who originally wanted what's being done to them to be doing to that person? You wanted that done to us, and because it's being done to you, now you're crying out to us for help. But you wanted to see things happen against us. Now you want us to come and help you? We're not coming to help you do anything. We don't get out there and fight for immigration because having immigrants here has hurt us rather than help us because you came here and worked against us. So why should we want to see you stay here? Oh, I know they're not deporting white immigrants, but nothing we can do about that. That's all I know is I don't see white immigrants coming in our neighborhoods flushing the money out. I see you people of color doing it. And I'm going to tell you, the world is really catching about the way they've treated black people. And all these others, you see these other people suffering? They mistreated the black people where they're at, in Africa and in Europe, for what they did to Africa. And then in the people of color, like in India, the black people over there treated like crap. China, Vietnam, everyone mistreat black people. Brazil, Mexico, everywhere there's black people, they get mistreated. You take in I told you about in Palestine in the Gaza Strip, there was about 11,000 black people living there. They only had one section they could live in called Al Habib, which meant the slave. And they picked on black women when they walked down the street, calling them names. The black men calling them names. The black people could barely get a job. Even though they were being oppressed, they still found time to oppress black people. And Israel was going to get theirs. But they oppressed the black Hebrew Israelites. And if Trump want to get someone for harming Christians, Christians has always been persecuted in Israel. Go get Israel. Now he got battle group going to Iran. What happened to the man who's tired of wars and wasn't going to start any new wars? And the MAGA base still following him. You should see the evil stuff they post. Those are some downright evil people. Just look at something where someone's being mistreated or unalive. You should see the evil stuff those MAGA folks say. I wouldn't unite with them. I wouldn't want anything to do with them. And these are their own people they're talking about, not just black people. I'm gonna play another video real quick.
You probably wonder, why do white people pay so much attention if they like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like. The liar knows what lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer's over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still gonna be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. Black people have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity. That's just why they chopped those noses off of the Pharaoh and the Sphinx in Egypt in the first place. Is because without this nose, we can tell you this is whoever it is. But with that nigga nose, it can only be niggas. Why would somebody vandalize a whole face and only vandalize one part? Nobody wanted to knock an eye off or take an ear off or no chins missing. Nope, just the nose. Because it's a brand. It's a brand.
That's one I was looking for earlier. I was looking for it earlier with Cat Williams, and I was talking about they sure do pay us a lot of attention for some people who they say are nothing and they don't like. I mean, they really pay us a lot of attention, but we don't do that to them. We're not all over the social media pages. You see, a lot of that stuff they look at, the algorithm is towards them because they know that's what they like. Low down things about black people. White people fighting all over the internet. They talk about the fight. But when black people fighting, they talk about the race or the people that's fighting. And a lot of those fights are AI anyway. A lot of them made in Nigeria, China, and Russia. Just to keep the see they do that they don't want the races to get along. But they don't have to do anything. The races here not going to get along anyway. Because they want to do what they want. Like I said before, they try to say my black. But oh, let me finish the fights first. If you notice on those fights, who can hit somebody 20, 30 times in the face? There's no swelling, no bleeding. The people walk away faces as straight as when it first started, as when it first got started, and they just got popped in the face 20 times. You look, a little 5-year-old kid could come and punch you in the face or in the eye, and it's gonna swell because the face is sensitive. That's sensitive tissue. They feed that to white people because they know that's what they like to see. They like to see black people misbehave. Like I said, when it's supposed of a black person doing something good, you don't see them on that. They don't say anything. Sometimes when black people start firing back at them, there'll be some white woman come on and say, "Oh, we're all one race, the human race." Well, why don't you tell the white people that? I don't see them on them white folks posts when they talk about black people saying we're all one race, the human race. You know what they go along with? They can do whatever they want to do. When it's time for us to respond, ours got to be peaceful. That's why I told you I don't do peaceful protests. I protest. I'm not gonna sit there negotiate with you all messed up and you don't have a scratch. I gotta get my licks in. We both gonna be messed up sitting there talking. It can't be one sided. But see that goes I said that because that goes along with what we gotta do. Our response has to be regulated. But their initial mistreatment don't have any rules. But our response has to be regulated. They do the same thing when it comes to protests. When we fire back on social media, All of a sudden now we are all one race. We all need to get along. But you wasn't telling those white people that. You don't come on their post and say that. It goes all in together. You do what you want to do to us, but our response has to be regulated. Peaceful, nice. Not mine. That's why I don't join protests, because they don't protest like me, and I don't want to mess up their protest. Because if somebody in your family did something, it shouldn't have to be a protest. You're supposed to take care of your family business. Let the law run its course, though. And see. But look, they are, there was Cat Williams was talking. I tried to find that earlier. But he, I just saw the number in these videos. But yeah, if you don't like somebody, why are you always worried about them? Concerned about what they're doing? I can tell you what these white folks are doing if it's not news or something, because I don't follow the social media posts. I don't watch Fox News. The only way I see something on Fox News is it's a clip on something else that I'm watching, but not just Fox News itself. Nothing interests me on there. And the foolishness that I do see, I can see why these MAGA people crazy. Listen to that. It's like fairy tales they're listening to all day. They sit there and lie, and any people with any sense would know they're lying. I know one woman was saying on one podcast, she was saying when she had a woman there, that they was decorating her new apartment for her, and they brought a certain type of light bulbs in, some light bulbs in. The woman was, I guess, conservative or MAGA, whatever she was. You know, Obama outlawed those light bulbs. No, they're not outlawed. Where you heard that at? I heard it on Fox News. He outlawed those light bulbs when it wasn't true. He said if he outlawed them, I wouldn't have them. They wouldn't have them at the store, and I wouldn't be buying them. She told her that's not true. That's just something they told you on Fox News. But they listen to that mess. Some people all day long. Now you see why they have nuts and go along with anything this man does? They listen to that propaganda all day long. Keep their television on. And their head gets full of all of that foolishness. And you and I see it, and we think they're crazy. And if they knew better, they would know they are crazy. Is it great again yet? No, it's not. It never was great for us, so we can't talk about no again. It was never great for black people. But it's about to get now. You people are in the decline all over the world, and you're holding on. You're trying to hold on. You can tell when a nation is in decline. You know what it does? See, Europe was in decline years ago. Well, at least they're trying to climb back out of decline. You notice they start taking over the other areas and their resources, bringing their military in. What's the United States doing now? Trying to take over the other people's territory and their resources. Trying to hang on. But it's not going to work. Because we're in a different day and different era now. Most of the United States trading partners are going to China. Now their GDP is growing and the United States GDP is shrinking. Theirs were 18 trillion. The United States was 38 trillion. They were in no way about to catch up with the United States. But they just made now because of Trump. So is it great yet? You were told, you were warned, but you wouldn't listen because it wasn't coming from a person who you wanted to respect. You saw this woman, and a black woman at that, telling you exactly what's happening now. She told you, but you wouldn't listen because of who she was. Until you people keep talking about she's not black. This old guy called himself being a fake Black Panther. He's Palestinian, really. 2 years ago, he said he was the leader of the Pariah gang in Michigan. Now he's the leader of the Black Panther Party because in the Palestinian newsletters is very big on him. They knew about him when we didn't. The Palestinians tried to take over Martin Luther King Day of their own. Black people had to straighten them out about that. They're trying to take over blacks. They want to become the new black folks because they're getting bombed out of Gaza. And Israel becoming buddy with Somaliland because they want the Palestinians to go there. Why would you allow something like that? See you see what they're doing now, but see with Europe, if them the United States get it on, I just don't want any black people to get hurt, but you know that's gonna happen, but and isn't it something? The two nations that destabilized the whole world, one with imperialism, one with colonialism, about to go at it with each other. Now Trump has backed off of that. He's the biggest wuss I ever seen. He put out all that tough talk then when people stand up to him. He backed down. That's why they call him Taco. Trump always cave in. Or is it cave aside? Something like that. I know he called him Taco. Taco Man. And see, he's not running this. Stephen Miller is in Vance. Mostly Miller because Trump don't have the cognitive skills to think up all of this. He can't even keep his thoughts together. He over there in front of world leaders gossiping and talking like he's in the barbershop somewhere. He's not doing all of this. He wouldn't know how. And see, the thing is, black people, we got to stay out of this mess and see how it goes and plan some strategies of our own, maybe even some exit strategies for another country if things really go bad. And see, these people always telling us to leave. The thing to tell them is give me the money. Give me my reparations money. I'll go. Until the end, I'm not going nowhere. Give us $1 million apiece to get up out of here. We'll empty this place out. And then you'll really be in a bad situation. You haven't invented anything. You take people off, but Indians, Nigerians, and Chinese. All your builders been black people. Black people made a lot of inventions. When Trump was listing those, he was listing a list of inventions to my, oh, America, we built it all, we made it all. He's just naming inventions, but didn't realize that every invention he mentioned was a black invention. But he didn't know that. What have they invented besides racism? But they don't want to take credit for that. Then see everything that's been done to alleviate what their racism is called. They call it reverse racism. So that means they're admitting that they committed racist acts. And when black people do it, oh, see, blacks can be racist too. Black people don't do racist things. We do racial things. We're not in a position to do racist things towards them. We do racial things in response to the racist things that they do to us. There were some black people buying land to start a community. A lot of white people. See? Excuse me. Isn't that racist? If white people do that, they'll call it racist. Did you hear the black people say we're starting an all black town and can't no one else can come? no one else can come. They say they're buying some property to create a community. What do black people have that other people can't come to? Not a thing. You just have stuff we can't go to. Even during segregation, Jim Crow. The white people was coming to black venues, black people just couldn't go to yours. If the white race room was full, the white person could go in the black race room, but the black person couldn't go in the white race room or water fountain. White people could go to the black stores and clubs. The black people just couldn't go to the white people's place. Because I heard some people say that during Jim Crow and segregation, white people would come to black clubs. And they let them in. Why, I don't know. And when the white people came, the black people cleared the black people who was at the front table, cleared them out, brought out the good china for the white people. I mean, man, come on. We couldn't have been, I don't care what era that was. That was pretty sick. You shouldn't have even let them in there, not alone giving them VIP treatment. But we still got some people like that today, though. Well, they're bent over backwards for them white folks. They're not going to bend over nothing for you. See, I know y'all gonna text me. Well, you always talking about race. I sure do, because everything is about race, and I'm not making anyone listen. Don't let people fool you. It ain't about no class or any of that. It's about race, because everything that has held us back has been about race. Why shouldn't the things that's gonna bring us forward be about race? You held us back through racism. They want to say, "Oh, it's gonna be racist. It's gonna be reverse racism." But you wouldn't worry about that. See what I said? See what I said before? They don't have no rules they go by. They do what they want to do. But when it comes to our turn, when our turn comes, there has to be a lot of rules to keep us from doing what needs to be done. They do what they want to. We have to be regulated. You've given everyone reparations but us. Even the slave owners got reparations. The Chinese got it. The Indians, well, that's their fault. They take that old barren land. They can't grow anything on, but they got what they agreed to what they wanted. We haven't gotten anything. Give us $1 million apiece. I'm sure a lot of us will get up out of here for $1 million. I'd be the first person in line. Go anywhere. Any nation would want a bunch of people with $1 million. Yep. You get a lot. You won't get all of us, but you get a lot of us up out of here. I know you're trying to stop the browning of the United States. I'll be one brown spot you can get up out of here for $1 million or so. My spot will be gone. It don't have to be Africa. It could be anywhere. Anywhere you want to go. But look, and back to my subject though. You see, they did a lot of harm to us, and then they thought Trump was gonna make America great, but he's here to bring judgment to America. I've always said about black people's situation, I don't see anything short of divine intervention taking care of this. And I think that time has come. You read Deuteronomy, especially the 24th chapter, it talks all about what's going on here now. And with black people, it talks about us. Now I know white Jews over there, and that made up Israel. Because since when Israel become white? It's talking about foundational black America. Read the 24th chapter of Deuteronomy. Everything is said in the Deuteronomy is playing. Everything that's going on now is playing out now. And they describe us perfectly. Listen to this.
Careful how you treat those who bounce back from everything that was meant to destroy them. Those are God's people.
Anytime where people can keep bouncing back, you like at some point in time you say, I better leave these folks alone. I've done everything I can to them and they keep coming back. I see a person like that, I say, well, man, I think I better leave these folks alone. They keep coming back from everything that I do to them. But they never got it. They never got it. I'm going to play another video.
Breaking news, martial law is coming in hot. This morning, a room with generals that America is facing a war from within.
No, that's not the one I want to play. Oh, I'm freezing up.
There's well over 10,000 people now in downtown Minneapolis, and honestly, I don't know where most of these people came from. They just literally came out of nowhere. Yellow buses were dropping people off, things like that. Everybody's yelling ice out. It is very cold, negative 30 degrees here in Minnesota, and all these people are out today. Crazy.
Minus 30 degrees. I have too many black out there. I know I would have been. Do you know what's going on? See, Trump wanted to declare martial law and suspend elections. And they're playing it right into his hands. Look, get out those people way. Let them take those illegal. Again, no one's illegal. Let them take those immigrants out because they still have gotten their paperwork together. You see Somalians cause most of their mess, but you don't see them out there. But they really after them. Now they're going into Maine and talking about Michigan. They got some in Maine now going up to Somalians in Maine. Supposed to be going up to some in Dearborn, Michigan. He used this as an excuse to go after the Somalians. And just like he did with the Latinos, because you know one thing I noticed though, he's not really they're not really going after the Mexicans that much. It's the Venezuelans and other immigrants. Because it's not black people's job to get out there for immigrants. That's why the leader of the Black Panther Party said we wouldn't be involved in that. But we for our people. This new guy keep talking about when Huey P. Newton was for everyone. This is not Huey P. Newton's era anymore. Their main goal was black people. And because Huey P. Newton's niece wanted to sue him for copyright. See, he's not the new Black Panthers. And he's going up there looking for trouble. That's not the way black people operate. Then they put this thing up to about the Black Panthers and the National Guard is working together. The National Guards don't work with anyone. They do their own thing. He's a liar at that. See, we're in a different era. Black people have to look out for our own. We're not looking out for immigrants who's not supposed to be here. They have to take care of that. If they weren't helping us, I mean, the immigrants hate us. They still do. Some of them, one day they talking about help, the next day they crapping on us. Somebody have time for them. Calling black policemen the N word. And see the way they're engaged in ICE, calling them names, talking about their families and all of that. Black people don't operate like that. If I just saying it over and over again, black people don't protest like that. You know what they do? They go out there and they block the federal road. And you notice when they get where the people tell them to get at, they don't have any problem. You know you're dealing with a ruthless bunch. Why do you keep agitating them? You keep that up, there's gonna be some more of your pew pew. And I just hope these black folks stay out the way. There's one black woman getting involved in up in Minnesota. You know they put the black people out front. You know, when I saw two black women today. But you know what happened in St. Louis? When they had that No Kings, No Oligarchy march. They had 10,000 people in the streets of St. Louis, the biggest march ever. I live streamed it. Out of the 10,000, I saw maybe 20 black people. But you know where they had the black people? They're in the front. Black woman in the front. They're carrying the sign. Black men on the bull horns. The people who the police are going to come after first. Or whoever come after first. How can we protest with them when they say they don't want to be immigrated, they don't want to be deported back to a nation, yet they're running around flying that nation's flag to my, what's the sense of pride and our culture? And well, if you got that much pride, go back to your country then. Why come your country's so great? Why come you couldn't stay there? What you doing here? No one's gonna march with you, and you have flying another nation's flag. Everyone's done it, but black people, even white people, flying the Confederate flag. I'm not talking about individual white people. I'm talking about white people as a people. Black people have never flown another nation's flag over this territory because we don't have another nation. Confederacy, that was another nation. Yet they got monuments all over the country to them. You know what happened? You know why we're having this MAGA stuff and all this coming up? You should have straightened that mess out during the Confederacy. And that's rising up again. You gave the slave owners reparations, gave the Confederate people land, gave them, brought them back into the Union without dealing with that problem. You never dealt with that Confederate problem. Now you're about to face it again. The Union Army was losing the war. They had to go get some black people to fight for them. And that's what turned the tide of the war. But that would turn the war for the Union Army. But they won't admit that. See how these people fight. I hope you will. I can't make it. Read this. Isn't he ridiculous? But they knew who he was. They knew how he is. White women, I know it take men to do the building. Take men to build. But do you have to elect any man? The white women are not going to put a female president in there. They're not going to. White women want their men to run things. And to get a man like this to run it, you have to really be brainwashed. He showed you who he was in his first term. Black people, we want whoever is the best candidate to get in, be it male or female, black or white. We feel like they're the best candidate, that's who we're voting for. They keep separating black women from black men, calling them the 92%. And black females this, black females that. Look, black women. There's a lot of people got, look, stop letting them separate. You doing it, they're not doing it. You don't say, it's white women won't separate themselves from their men. Then you'll be the first one to say you're not protected or covered. Where's your husband? What man's burden are you under? Every random man not gonna protect you. It don't work like that. You don't want, see, feminism got you from being traditional ladies, but you want the men to remain traditional gentlemen. I say that to say this: 8 out of every 10 black men voted for Kamala. 9 out of every 10 black women voted for Kamala. But when you look at sheer numbers, black women outnumber black men. When you look at sheer numbers instead of percentage, actually more black women in sheer numbers voted for Trump than black men. It sort of balances itself out. We need to stop separating ourselves because, excuse me, and any time you try to destroy any type of people, the man is the first one you want to make irrelevant. And white people have said it. Black women never been our target. Black men are our target. We're just using black women to help us. Why do you think you hate black? You hate us. You say it all the time. Every white man I talk to who talk with black women, they different ones, don't even know each other. They all tell me how the white black women say how much they hate black men. You treat us that way. You treat us like white supremacists treat black people. Anytime we're mentioned, you talk about the worst of us. Well, I talk about the best of you. Isn't that what the white supremacists do? I'm gonna get into that for another subject. I'm gonna get back to what I was talking about. All I'm saying is that they will divide and conquer us. And it's just about as happened. Just about as happened. But see, but still, it's not gonna be great for them, just like it wasn't for us. It never was great. It wasn't great for us, but it wasn't great for the poor white folks either. They just let them have a little more than us, a little more privilege than us, to give them someone to look down on to keep them in line. And you see how they're breaking off, telling everything. Now you see that they're the most on government welfare than anyone. All the crimes they commit. I'm gonna get off into the crime thing one day, because even those statistics just shifted against us. And see, even these immigrants, then you know they was including the black immigrants into black people crime stats. But yet when it comes to the good stuff of achieving something, then you put them under their ethnicity or nationality. When it comes time to charge them with the crime, you put them under black. It's gonna be great for black people. It's gonna be great for black people. I doubt it is for everyone else. And the cards are moving in our favor. Well, I'm not gonna hold you long time. I hold you long enough. I didn't mean to talk this long. I got a lot off subject because I couldn't really download the videos that I wanted to for my talking points. But I'm going to get out of here, and I want to thank you for tuning in. And keep tuning in if you can. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and this has been No More Water. Bye. Next time. Thanks.